Hello friends, it's currently September 2024. I'm not sure when you're seeing this, but it'll be once all of the books I'm going to talk about and conceptualize in this video get announced, or probably 3 of the 4, and then I'll post it and I'll also include reactions and see if I'm right. I've predicted 13 books over the last couple years and gotten to see the covers, and I feel like just do a quick recap. I've gotten closest with Finley Donovan, with the Emily Wilde one, and the Wedding Witch. Those ones I feel like are my most successful accomplishments. I did okay with The House Across the Lake. Everyone on this train is a suspect if you factor in like the secondary cover that got announced. Hellbent colors, I'll take it. And the boyfriend subscription with like certain concepts and color ideas. I'm gonna take those ones because I've been so far off so many times. Throne of Secrets, the Wayward Children book, Alone Out Here was probably my worst. Fall Boys and Disney in Paradise, or When the World Tips Over. Funny Story, because I had to come up with a whole concept and title and everything, and that was wrong. And the Fairies Never Lie cover. This latest episode is inspired by the fact that Emily Henry sent out an email, a newsletter, announcing or saying I'm about to announce my 6th adult title. We got hints to what it's going to be called, so I want to go through that with you and then come up with a concept. Then I figured because Riley Sager has a book every year, he's probably going to have one in 2025. So again, I'm going to conceptualize an entire plot, cover, and title with you. And then since I've done Emily Henry before, I've done Riley Sager before, I've also done Sean McGuire before. So let's conceptualize book number 4 in the Alchemical Journeys series. We'll see how that goes. And then finally, the upcoming V.E. Schwab. I've never done a V.E. Schwab. I have no idea what this one could possibly look like, so this is the one I'm definitely gonna get furthest off for. But her upcoming title is called Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. So we're gonna figure out what that's gonna look like. Emily Henry's up first because she is the reason I decided to make this today and spend the last hour coming up with a few ideas for everyone else. So her newsletter says lucky number 6, coming in, I want to say late April. I actually forget. I hope you're having a great day, blah, blah, blah. Monday, the title of my 6th book will go live. And I feel like you could figure it out before then. You usually do. I feel like I can. Here are the hints we have. It's more than 2 words long. I've already hidden it in a grocery list, she says, and it starts with an adjective. So a descriptive word, more than 2 words long. So her latest ones were Funny Story and Happy Place, 2 words long. Also Beach Read and Book Lovers were 2 words long. And People We Meet on Vacation was the outlier with a whole bunch of words. So I guess this one is going to be in that vein, a slightly longer one. I said before when I was designing Bucket List, which this could still be a thing someday, that all of her titles are common phrases. They're things you've definitely heard before. So since I've been on her newsletter list for years, we can go through. She's hidden it in a grocery list. So I guess I need to go through all of her newsletters and find adjectives. Her latest email was August 2nd, and it starts out saying, once more here with great news. Great is bolded. If she didn't say the thing about it being more than 2 words, I would have said great news. She also bolded the word great in this current September 6th email. In fact, great is the only word that has been bolded in any of her last 6 newsletters, but there are a lot of words in capitals. On March 6th, she capitalized lot. On April 1st, she capitalized finally. June 25th, she also capitalized a lot, but also formally. I'm starting to think the capitalization means nothing. These are not hints. July 9th, she capitalized still. Then gorgeous, today, and need. She starts every email with hello, my friends. Hello again, friends. Hello, my friends. Hello, dear readers. I thought maybe that was gonna be the hint because one of them says, hello, you beautiful people. I thought maybe it'd be beautiful people. Again, that's only 2 words. Okay, I'm scouring for adjectives now. We've got big and beautiful. We've got sexy, sultry summer. Those are both in her latest one. So if you think maybe she didn't title it until recently, it would be her most recent newsletter that is the hint. So big and beautiful or sexy, sultry summer. On July 9th, She said special and rare magic. Let's go back to the email she just sent out. This book is different than anything I've written before, but also feels like a really natural extension of what I've been doing the last few years. There is, of course, a love story and a vacation and complicated family dynamics and all the things I've always found myself drawn toward, but there's also something else. And I'm both overjoyed and terrified to be able to share it and share more about it soon. Okay, there's 3 ways that I could take her saying she's doing something different. Either she's going full sexy romance, like erotic romance, in which case, sexy, sultry summer, clearly the winner. Second thought, she's going more women's fiction. And I think that could be it. Well, now I have big and beautiful in my head, and I'm like, she's writing a plus size romance. That's her like something extra. Yeah, I agree, that doesn't sound right. Maybe she's going back to her roots with YA. And it's gonna do what she did in YA, which was speculative stuff. That is definitely something extra. Special and rare magic is not a title that I like. I just don't think it sounds like the title of a book. I want to go with her hints more than my own thoughts. I have to take the word great. Great. Hold on. Great sultry summer. Great beautiful people. Great. Oh, 2 of them have beautiful. Great, big, beautiful. Great, big, and beautiful. Great. No, but it's a phrase that it's a common phrase. Duh, let me look up some idioms. To go to great lengths. Great lengths, that's only 2 words. Great divide. Great minds think alike. That's interesting. Greatest thing since sliced bread. The great outdoors. At great length. Great is starting to not look like a word anymore. Great balls of fire. It's a romantasy. Great balls of fire. I like talk a great game, but that doesn't start with an adjective. Maybe it's like great grandmother's something, and it's a granny romance. Her first great grandmother romance. Great deal, great guns, great job, greatest of all time. That's it. Okay, I'm officially calling it greatest of all time. Here's what I said before when I said Beach Read was a genius title, because now when you Google beach reads, her book comes out, not a list of romance books that are good for the summer. So now when you search greatest of all time book, her book will show up instead of the greatest, like a list of the greatest books. Emily Henry is a visionary. Now let's talk about the cover. First of all, color is important. She still hasn't done a purple book, but she also hasn't done a red book. And I was thinking, okay, stay with me. Emily Austen has a book that's red with blue windows. And I was thinking, what if I make it a room, like a couch and a woman on the couch? Because she often has her people lying down or sitting. And I'm just gonna put one person on the cover because I think that this is gonna be more of a self journey rather than romance. I do think that that is a direction that makes sense for her. And I also think, I'm just coming up with this as I speak, I think to add in the magical element, it's gonna be like Freaky Friday. Okay, so I'm gonna put like a shooting star or something in the window that she can see outside. And she has to reconnect with what she wants in life. Think Freaky Friday, but she's never met her mother. So it's not a redo of Freaky Friday. She's at rock bottom, okay? Here's a trend in book covers from a couple years ago, the exhausted woman. The exhausted woman was everywhere. And I thought this trend was dying, but I've seen a couple recently that are also this exhausted woman. She's lying down, her hands over her head, she's against the wall, whatever she's doing, she's tired of her life. And this woman on my book cover is going to be lying on the couch, but the world is outside and it's so promising and she just needs to step out there. And when she does, she's going to be transported into her mother's life, or she's going to meet her mother as a young woman the same age as her. She's going to switch lives or meet her mother from her own timeline. They don't know each other. She's gonna realize that she has a really similar life to her mother, that she lived, or she does know her mother and her mother's past is different than what she thought. Rediscovering things about your parents that you didn't previously know. I think that's actually a trend in some of her books. Don't know what that has to do with the title. I think she realizes she's the greatest of all time, or her mother is the greatest of all time, or her life is the greatest of all time. Once she relives someone else's life, understands truths about the world, she returns to her own life and realizes it's the greatest of all time. Do you like it? It did not take until Monday. Somebody already leaked the title, I guess. It was on the publisher's website. So we have the title. It's Great Big Beautiful Life. And I feel like if I had thought a little bit harder, I could have gotten there. It's not a common phrase, I don't think, but like great big, great big beautiful is definitely a thing. So I was kind of on the right track, but not. And now that I know it's called Great Big Beautiful Life, I think I'm right about it being more of a story of a woman rather than a relationship. There will be a relationship, but it's about a woman. I think she's gonna be pregnant. I mean, beautiful, like creating life. I think that's gonna be the story. Because I was thinking in the newsletter, it said something I've never written before. And she has written speculative stuff before. What I think is she hasn't written a story of motherhood, of pregnancy, of birth. And that's what I think it's gonna be. It's a springtime release, the time of birth. I also have to give this woman a pregnant belly. I still think there's the possibility that it's gonna be a story of getting to know her own mother better, or for the first time, like I said, I think she's gonna be adopted. I think she's reconnecting or connecting with her birth mother, and she's finding out the truths about her own pregnancy and how she feels about being pregnant herself. And there is still the chance that it could be speculative. Like maybe it's dual timeline. Maybe it'll still be her mother and her story and we'll be going back and forth. Or it's Freaky Friday, they switch. Also, I need to think about this main character's name and I want to get it right. Something that I'm thinking is the names that she's used before are Nora, January, Poppy, Harriet, and Daphne. These are kind of classic names, but also familiar names to what I grew up with, like Harriet the Spy, Daphne from Scooby-Doo, Nora Jones, January Jones. I don't think I know a Poppy, but I want to think of something that sounds like a grandmother name, but also is something that was familiar to me when I was growing up, but also feels like modern enough to be named somebody current day. So I'm gonna think on it and I'll pop back in with a voiceover when I figured it out. Design session number 2 for greatest of all time. I mean, Great Big Beautiful Life. I think I put Great Big Beautiful World actually, and I'm only now noticing it after the fact. I switched it to purple, okay? Right off the bat, switched it to the purple. I grabbed a color scheme idea from all these other books that pair yellow with purple really well. And I just feel like if it's now a story in my mind of motherhood, it needs to be a little bit softer. So purple is the decision. It's the same. Look at me go through all these different purples. I ended up grabbing the exact same one that I used for bucket list last time. Then I had to change some of the other elements, the pillow color, the couch cover, just to make sure it was perfectly complementary. And then I had to make her pregnant. So I just expanded the waistband of her jeans because they're now maternity jeans. I'm not sure if this anatomy totally makes sense lying down, if this is how you would look, but this is what I went with. I also had to change the color of the window just to make it work better. I like this cover less, but it's more in line with the synopsis that I wrote. It is October 16th. I am just getting ready to film an upcoming releases video where I talk about covers and titles and things that have recently been revealed. And right before I filmed, I have this email sitting in my inbox. Emily's grocery list, Great Big Beautiful Cover. It's here and I love it. I'm assuming the cover is going to be in the email and we're also going to get the synopsis. I can't believe today is the day. So let's walk through like my final situation before I look. I have committed to purple. I'm gonna regret it. I've done it twice now with bucket list and this one. We're gonna get a purple one someday. Honestly, it was just that the red and with the word great was starting to give Make America Great Again and I had to get rid of it. So I put the red and the blue in her outfit instead. I have the font going diagonally. I put the actual title in obviously because we know what it's called. There's a couch, there's a window, there's a woman. This is my official prediction. I'm gonna be so angry if it's like blue and green, which I feel like it could be because we're talking about the world and the earth, but I can't think about that right now. If it turns out to be red, at least like my original idea is still good. What I think I would like about my like laying down cover is that it fits with the current trend, but also it's like a juxtaposition between the title being like, oh my God, the world is so great, everything's so perfect, and then the woman is like, help, I hate it here. Lastly, for our characters' names, here are the ones that I have for you. Denise or Claire, as in Huxtable, Willow, as in Rosenberg, Margot, as in Tenenbaum, Rebecca from like folklore, because Emily's email did talk about something was inspired by folklore. And maybe that's just like a title thing. The great, what's it called? The Last Great American Dynasty, I think. And there's a character in that named Rebecca. I looked it up. I can't believe I'm able to see the cover. Oh my gosh. Where is it? Where is it? The cover for my next book is here and I hope you love it. Okay, I have to click. Oh my God. Oh, it's red. Oh my God. It's red and orange and there's two people on it. So it's just like a typical, oh my God. Okay. So it is romance. Okay, I'm glad they have books. What's her name? Margaret? Oh my God, I said Margot. I'm not gonna take that as a win. Margaret, are you there? God, it's me, Margaret. Ugh. I should have thought of that one. Upcoming book follows two writers as they vie for the chance to tell the larger-than-life story of a woman with more than a couple of plot twists up her sleeve. Oh wait, Alice is the main character. Margaret is who they're interviewing. Okay. Alice Scott is an eternal optimist, still dreaming of getting her big writing break. Hayden Anderson is a Pulitzer Prize winning human thundercloud. But I need to know like what's different about this. Is it just that is there a story within the story? Is that what it is? Like we're gonna get Margaret's story? They're gonna write the biography of a woman no one has seen in years. Who's Margaret Ives? The tragic heiress, former tabloid princess, and daughter of one of the most storied and scandalous families of the 20th century. Oh, the last great American dynasty. Both Alice and Hayden get a chance to write her story, but only after a 1-month trial period to prove themselves worthy of the gig. Alice, definitely a classic literature character too. For this one, we really wanted something that felt akin to the past covers while also nodding toward the thing that will make this one a bit different, which of course will make more sense once you've read it. As many of you guessed, the song that best encapsulates this one is Last Great American Dynasty. I've never even heard that song and I grabbed it. Like I've been telling you, this book is a little bit different, though still very much a love story and a romance, to be clear. And I do know, I say this every time, but I've genuinely never been more nervous to share something with you. Writing this book consumed me, tore me up, and challenged me like nothing has in years. Okay, so what does it mean the cover exudes a little something different? I love the background. I love the like sunny situation and the geometric stuff. The title is not crooked, so I got that wrong. I like that it takes up the whole page. I obviously like it way better than the one I made. Wait, maybe what's different about it is like we're getting two POVs, but I don't know why she wouldn't share that in the announcement. I'm really happy with the colors. I think it fits really well with everything that she's done before. And we will get a green cover one day and a purple. Mark my words. Hello, it's months later. I just wanted to pop in because on the first of every month I go to the Book of the Month website to see what books they have available. And I saw the cover for Definitely Better Now. And like, I feel like I should have been designing this cover. And I'm dying to know if this had been revealed before I filmed the beginning in September. I guess it probably was because covers get revealed like 6 months to a year before they come out. But like this, the fact that this exists and it's like this sad lady lying on a couch and it's yellow and red, like, hello? I feel like I need to read this book now by Ava Robinson. I don't even typically like this kind of book. Okay, I'm on her Instagram. First time I see it is September 4th. I can't remember the date that I filmed my first clip, but it doesn't matter. You know I didn't see it. If I had seen it, I would have I would have gone further away from it because then it would just look like I'm copying this book. But I just feel like the reds are so similar. And in reality, my red is just from the other book that I took inspiration from. But like, it's wild that this exists and I saw it and I was like, I made that. It's obviously really different, but okay, anyway, next. Back to present day, September 2024. Let's talk Riley Sager. I have read all of them. This one, if there is one ever again, it's gonna be book number 9. I think his covers have been designed by a different person every time. This is Christopher Lynn designed this and Alberto Ortega painted it. Survive the Night, designed by Caitlin Call, and the jacket photo was from a stock website. Cover design by Alex Murto, lettering based on Caitlin Call, and stock photo for that one. I think before all of those, these were all done by the same person. Alex Murdo. Alex Murdo. Okay. And they're all from Dutton. So who knows who will be designing the next one. We have done lime green enough times. We have done purple. I'm not involved. Purple once. There was a blue. There's a teal, there's a blue and red and yellow, there's a blue and red. Everything was pretty much on trend for its time. The red and blue, when it came out, everybody was doing. Lime green was definitely in when the lime green ones came out. I don't know what the color trend is currently. I have been seeing a lot of red and yellow. I think like rusty reds and golds together, but it's also been a while since the purple. So depending on what the plot is, like that could influence my thoughts. What do we talk about first? I think we have to figure out the plot before the title because we haven't gotten any information about this book even existing. So my thought is we have had like an apartment building, we've had a house, a neighborhood, we had a house, we had a summer camp. Was this a summer camp one? Or was this the camp one? I don't see it being set in an isolated environment like a car again, because that wasn't his most successful book. I don't know if I see him writing like a plane, train, or boat story. I would love a boat story because I just love that concept and haven't read enough of them. But I think we need to go just in another house, but not just a house that someone has moved into or just moved into, moved back to. It's got to be something a little more unique. Maybe we can return to the lock every door idea of this person's a caretaker. They're moving into an apartment to like, as kind of a vacation. Maybe it'll be a vacation thriller and maybe actually add like a motel or hotel. That could be interesting. Most of Riley Sager's stories have starred women at the forefront. There is one main character, they are going through something. And his latest one followed a man. I don't think we're gonna get another man-centric story that quickly. But I do think it's gonna follow a similar idea, like just a person going somewhere, scary things happen. I want it to be more of an ensemble. I think we should have like a group of 3 girls who are going on a trip, they're staying in a motel, and then scary things are happening at the motel. Now, as far as the title, they stick to a pretty similar, like 3 or 4 words. Every word is 1 or 2 syllables. Home before dark, the only one left, last time I lied. The kind of titles that could be anybody's, like they're not particularly unique. The house across the lake, middle of the night. They're just like generic times of day, locations. This one, Final Girls, is the only one that was 2 words. And then some of them are like instructions, like lock every door or survive the night. I feel like we'll get another one of these ones that feels like telling you something to do. It's probably easier to pinpoint the types of titles I wouldn't associate with Riley Sager. Like, he doesn't do names, so, you know, he wouldn't do something like The Death of Mrs. Westaway or Alice's Island. It's not gonna try to be punny like Grave Reservations. And it's not gonna be long. It's not a whole sentence. It's not in my dreams I hold a knife, or every time I go on vacation someone dies, or everyone on this train is a suspect. If it was on the title of a Riley Sager, you would say, yeah, that sounds like a title that he could use. Local woman missing, they all fall down, where they wait, the turn of the key, the other people, the wife between us. That's his vibes. And what I noticed on my shelves a lot is the word look closer, don't look for me, or come find me, don't look back. So it's like looking and finding, and these women are being stalked by someone at this motel. That's what I think. When I pulled all of these, I was thinking the person's looking for someone. There's someone who's missing, but no, now I'm in the motel mind. Don't look back, I feel like could be an easy one because it's not, you don't have to worry about being mixed up with another one. This is like a YA romance, thriller romance. So I like Don't Look Back. Choosing the right font is the most difficult part to start out with, but I'm doing one that kind of looks like a horror movie font, you know, like a classic kind of 80s vibe, because he's done that on a couple of different covers. There are ones that are a little more simple and clean, and then ones with, you know, details, and then the ones on the right that are like more stylistic. I think this direction makes sense. I I guess. And I want to do a gradient font like this one. So I'm just going to grab the colors from Survive the Night and I'm going to put it on a bunch of different backgrounds. I just was looking up motel and hotel signs that already exist in stock photos, hoping that I can finagle something that looks decent, that I don't have to put too much work into. I really like this one. I like the colors of this one together and the headlights peeking through. It's a little too similar to Survive the Night. But I'm ultimately thinking, what if I just make the title glow on its own? And that's the sign, rather than trying to find a motel sign. So this is something I used to do years ago, was make these little neon signs in Photoshop. So I found a couple pictures that have a black background, and this one I think works. I just made it orange and I'm changing it so there's a little more legs, so it looks more like it could be a realistic sign. I'm skewing it. I put stars in the background, and this is my really orange cover, because something Riley Sager hasn't done yet is orange. And that is my prediction for Riley Sager. I have no idea if we will get anything anytime soon, but here's hoping. Apologies for my appearance. I just got out of the shower, but it's the end of September, and Riley Sager just posted something on Instagram. I haven't watched it yet, but I heard there was like lines across it. I saw it for a second, and I heard train noises. And I don't know how to feel, so we're gonna watch it together. Six people destroyed Anna's family. Now she's bringing them to justice. But even the best of plans sometimes go off the rails. With a vengeance. With a vengeance. Summer 2025. Oh, there's no cover. Oh my God, I thought this was gonna be the cover and it was all happening so fast. Did I literally say in the last clip, I don't think it's gonna be a car, plane, or train book? Is my memory serving me correctly, or did I say that? You know what's funny about these prediction videos? I don't have to say what it's not gonna be. All I have to do is give a whole bunch of ideas and get one of them right, and then I feel smart. I don't have to say things I don't think it's gonna be, but instead I did this time. And now I have to admit that I was very wrong. It's literally a train. I love it. I love that idea. Okay, Literally Dead Book Club, summer 2025. We're reading Riley Sager again. He has a train book coming. If I had done any research, like if this video hadn't been inspired by Emily Henry just putting out a newsletter and me wanting to film it right away, I would have done some research and saw that Riley Sager usually announces things in September. I wasn't even thinking about it. I thought it was going to be months down the line. I don't know why. This is exactly when he usually announces stuff. And now I have to redo the cover, but at least I get to redo the cover. I get to think about, based on like the vibes now, I get to do something else. So there are two things happening in my head. Either it's going to be just like Survive the Night, where it's like headlights in the distance, but it's a train. Like that would be easy. I'm thinking orange because, I don't know, I associate trains with orange, maybe because of this cover. And actually I discussed in that video why I think of orange and brown for trains. And I think it all makes sense. I don't even need to explain it. It just makes sense. Or it could be one of those covers like Billy Summers, or is it Road of Bones? Whatever, there's a whole bunch of covers where you're looking bird's eye view down at a road or train tracks. So it could be one of those two things. I'm gonna set it in like fall. So I'm gonna do leaves because then that'll bring in the orange vibes. That's exciting. It's a story of revenge, an isolated mystery of everybody in one spot. And you know that Riley Sager is gonna pull off some twists and turns. It's not gonna be so easy. Like there's somebody there who is doing something behind the scenes. Plus the reveal of the mystery of like what really happened to her family. I'm excited. Oh, I'm so excited to see the cover. Orange, definitely committing to orange. If I get nothing else right, it's gotta be orange. Design session number 2. Just be glad I'm doing this as a voiceover. You don't have to watch me because I crashed out. I was crashing out making this. I went and found a bunch of stock photos of trains just to get an idea of what I wanted. I really liked the train coming at you, but I also liked the train up on this bridge with the smoke coming out of the back. And then I also wanted to make sure I tried one with the train overhead, like a bird's eye view. It was really hard to find one that had the right foliage around. I wanted the autumn vibe. And also trains just don't look that interesting from above. So I tried out a million things. They all were a little too bright and happy. I was changing the colors. I thought maybe we could do one set at night and it could have glowing beams, maybe in a tunnel. I loved this view through the branches to see it. And I loved this one up here, but I just could not make it work. I don't know what it was about the day that I was throwing this together, but nothing was working. I couldn't make it the tones that I wanted. I don't know what it was. This one I really liked with next to the water. I just had a lot of ideas and they ended up all looking like, I obviously haven't changed the colors or the contrast or anything, but they all just looked so literary fiction that I just gave up on the idea and I went to the bird's eye view. So I found train tracks from another photo and then put them onto this type of fall foliage that is the one that I wanted. I found some trains, I copied those over, and I don't know. It was fine. It was going fine. I never even threw the title in. I kind of gave up on this idea. This is hours in. I think it was 2 a.m. when I was doing this. So I grabbed this picture because it was fall enough. And I thought you can see the train, and I ended up removing these, which are probably essential for the train to function, but they were really getting in the way of my design. So I obviously did the title in a font that I liked, and I threw, you know, New York Times bestselling author, and I put a novel at the bottom. I did the gradient font, and I just think this is passable. I think it's fine. It could be the cover of a mystery novel set on a train, but does it really give those vibes? And does it give Riley Sager? No, it sure doesn't. But this is what I've committed to. All right, the With a Vengeance cover has been revealed. I've seen it, but I haven't looked at it, if you know what I mean. Honestly, I hate this video. I hate that I have to pull up my cover. I wasn't gonna post this video. I've been like going back and forth with it. I have so much editing to do on it. And I really hate my cover so much because it doesn't look like a Riley Sager book. And especially when I put it up against, I just hate that they have to be on the screen at the same time. So here's my final cover. It's not good and I don't like it. Now let's properly look at With a Vengeance. Okay, first of all, I like it. I really, really like it. I have so many things to say. One, the colors look so good together. Like he has done blue, like a dark blue and red. Blue and red is still just going strong in thrillers for sure. This one's already happened. And then there was a dark blue with the lies, whatever the title of that one was. So his covers have been blue, but not this type of blue. Like there is something different. Oh, and that House Across the Lake was like a greenish blue. So we've had things in this world, but it's still every single cover of his looks a little bit different. Like the colors, there is always a distinct color. I'm so annoyed that there was one, I remember this was so many months ago, but there was definitely one where I had a train and it was on something that looked just like this and there was smoke coming out of it and I just couldn't figure out how to make it look good, so I scrapped it. And this is exactly what it, like this is exactly what I wanted it to look like. Like this was my vision. No, it wasn't. I wouldn't have put those colors together. The glowing behind the train is so beautiful. I like that you can see water underneath the bridge and like a little bit of a reflection of the train. I'm most annoyed that I couldn't even get the freaking font right. Like he has done different fonts. There's been serif, sans serif. There's the ones that are like really stylized and like scratched into the page practically. They did that for 2 of the books and then went away from that. And I just wonder, like, in general, if you're working on the same author's books for so long, like, do you think about what you've done before or do you not care? Like, do you look at each book individually and think this is just the font that makes the most sense here? Or are you looking at Lock Every Door and you're saying, oh, well, I liked how this looked here and it gave these kind of vibes, so I want to recreate that with this. I don't love this one, but what I do think is it exudes a certain vibe. This feels like more of a thriller than a horror, and I mean his stuff is more thriller than horror, so I'm expecting this one to be much more mystery, and the synopsis does sound like that, so maybe this is the perfect font to be here. I just don't like it as much as the classic horror kind of ones, but that's because I like horror books more than thrillers. Anyway, what else do I have to say? Is there anything else to dissect here? Riley's name is getting bigger with every book, which makes sense. It's clearly the standout of this cover. I really just love the detail. I would have loved to see all the pieces that somebody pulled together to make this cover happen. Like what imagery they were inspired by, what is original here, what's composite, like how it all came together. The red smoke is just really throwing me for a loop because I never would have even considered that. And when I was doing that one, it was just also black and white. And I was like, how do I make it be like a Riley Sager cover? Because it needs to have all of these pops of color. And this is how you do it. Back to present day September. We need to talk about V.E. Schwab They did originally tease The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue with this like blue and purple image. I just went back and looked because the latest one, Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. Love it. Love the title. It has a blue teaser, like cover coming soon, cover to be revealed, and it's blue. So I want to make it blue. But this one was also blue and the cover's not blue. So I'm trying to just like make that leave my mind. When I think of their books, I tend to think of red. She does a lot of red and white covers, red and black covers. And then The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue is more simplistic, and it's just like the typography that's the most important. The title is there and there's not that much else going on. So I kind of want to do just the exact same thing because the teaser has stars, this one has stars, but then it would look like a sequel. So I don't think it can be black. What I'm thinking, my first impression, the words bury our bones and soil, you know, I think of brown, I think of red, I think of clay. So I pulled a whole bunch of covers that give me those vibes, but I also do think it's going to be more simplistic with the title being the focus, and the background is just going to be a little bit of something. Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil is about 3 different women in 3 different parts of the world, 3 different timelines. We're in 1532, in 1837, and 2019. 3 young women, their bodies planted in the same soil, their stories tangled like roots. So I want to do like plants. I want to do dirt. The title has the vibes of something like these covers. Either plants in the background, 3D realistic stuff, or something like this that is like little doodles, little designs on the outside. That's what I'm thinking makes the most sense. So I just need to figure out how to put all this together. Okay, I saw the cover of V.E. Schwab very briefly. I think I might have only actually seen like the intro. I can't remember now because it was like 3 days ago. This lighting is just atrocious. Should I move? Okay, I saw the cover of the V.E. Schwab while I was on my girls' trip. I saw it like right when we were getting there, and I didn't want to like step away to analyze and vlog while I was there. So I only saw, I know I haven't seen the exact thing, but I saw like the intro to what it was as I was scrolling through Instagram. I can't tell you like what the colors were or anything. So I can't remember how much of it I saw, but we're going to look at it right now. I think it was florally. That's what I remember. Oh yeah, here's what I saw. It was like, okay, it's happening. Oh my God. Okay. Oh, I don't like, okay, sorry. I don't like okay, well, there's 3D flowers in the background, which was something that I talked about, but wasn't my official final prediction. These colors definitely were not what I had in mind. It's like a yellow, but it's like on the side of green. And I think it's actually, the font is similar to Addie LaRue because it has the lines through it. I don't really like the font. Like the O's, the G seems really big. It's just not as stylized as I was expecting, I think. Don't take that as me saying that I did any better than this is like an actual designer did this and they did what they wanted to do and what they were supposed to do. I think it stands out, which is a good thing because it's not like the typical color pairing that I feel like I've seen a lot. So it has that going for it. The flowers like are objectively pretty. It's a pretty design. I just don't think I like it as a book cover. I don't really love the combo. Let's check the comments though. Okay. Some people are saying they love it. Some people are saying it's boring. Most people are just excited about the book coming out. What I will say is I haven't seen this reposted. The fact that I actually went the last like 5 days without this being spoiled for me. I didn't see anybody repost it to their stories. I didn't accidentally see it anywhere else. I think that says something about the not necessarily exciting cover. It's not exciting. I think we can all agree on that. If you like the design or not, it's not like a cover that you go, oh my God, I can't believe this. Like I've never seen anything like this. Or like the art style is so phenomenal. It's not the most interesting thing I've ever seen. I'll take it. I'm gonna buy it. I can't wait to read it. I think it's gonna be a really interesting one. That's that on that. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I actually think this is going to be a boring way to end the video because I don't believe we're going to get this cover reveal before I want to post this video. I don't want to wait because I think it might be a whole nother year before we get this cover revealed. So I think I've already shown you the other things, and we're just going to end it with me leaving you with what I think. And then once it actually gets revealed, you know, I'll post about it on my Instagram and we can talk about it there. But I do want to consider what the final, or no, well, not the final, oh my God, the fourth book in the Alchemical Journey series is going to look like by Seanan mcguire. The first one is Middle Game, the second is Seasonal Fears, the third is Tidal Creatures. It was announced last year there's actually going to be 5. Inkpot Gods is the title of the fourth one. I don't know that I love it, but it does give me an idea for what it could look like. And number 5 is going to be Asphodel, who is a prominent character. So those are coming out in 2026 and 2028 respectively. They're working through all the elements. Like that's what Seanan mcguire has talked about before, is each cover represents a different element. We have fire, earth, water, and then Inkpot Gods is going to be air. And then someone was talking to Seanan about the idea of ether, and she was like, oh, I need to have a 5th book, and that's Asphodel. No idea what that cover could possibly look like, but I think an air cover, at least we have something to go off of. Obviously these covers are all so similar. They are black and they have one item in the middle. It's not touching any of the edges. It's independent in the center and it's on fire. But what do we put on fire if it's air? So I was Googling like things that could represent air, and I understand that Wiccan imagery uses knives and swords. They also will use like wands, feathers, incense to represent air, but knives and swords is really interesting to me. I already did a sword on fire cover. Basically anything like being waved through the air or that can show some type of movement is what I think makes the most sense for book number 4. If you look at the Magician tarot card, there's like all 4 elements on there. They're represented by the wand, pentacle, sword, and cup. So sword does make sense. I think a sword on fire kind of seems like it's going to be more of a high fantasy novel. Middle Game is like, or the Alchemical Arts is hard to pin down genre wise. I guess Tidal Creatures kind of looks like sci-fi, so maybe it would be fine to have a sword on fire. I was thinking maybe just the hilt of a sword. Is that what it's called? But then it's not in the middle. It would be coming from the bottom, so that just doesn't feel right. But since the title is Inkpot Gods, like feathers and birds make sense to represent air. And like, what if I did a feather pen? I don't know if it needs to have an ink pot. I feel like maybe it will, but I also just think a feather on fire, and then I'll like make it look like a pen a little bit. I can probably just find a stock image of a feather on fire and I'll just throw that on there and it'll be correct. Other things I was thinking are like wind chimes, but that seems a little bulky. Birds make sense, but there's no creatures like actual people or animals on any of the other covers. Incense makes sense, like the smoke, but it's too skinny to be substantial enough to cover the whole cover. A balloon, but like a balloon on fire seems really silly. Pages flipping, like it could be a book. Pages on fire, I like that idea. Clouds on fire doesn't really make sense. So I do think the feather thing makes a lot of sense. And I guess I'm just recreating the author's name and title with the letters that already exist. This is probably a really simple one for me to do. So that is my official prediction for this. I actually think it's fun to leave it with one that we don't know, we didn't find out together. We've done that a couple times and I think it's fine. I wanted to talk about this one, but I know it's not gonna come out for another 2 years. So unless somehow something happens and I'm popping in, or this video, the other ones took months or a year, which I hope not, then you're seeing this video before the reveal of this one. But here is my prediction. Thank you so much for watching everything that I came up with today and over the last couple months, I guess, that I've been inserting clips for. This is getting like messy in my mind, but I appreciate you for being here. Let me know if you want me to continue the series, any books that you think are coming out that have a no cover that you want me to go ahead and figure out what I think in my mind and I'll see you later. Bye!